the toughest motherfucker in the MMA industry. Hello and welcome to Bloodsport MMA. Today, I will tell you who, in my opinion, is the toughest motherfucker ever in the UFC's history. Alright? So, let me come to the point. I don't try to make this a long story or a podcast. So, there are probably many opinions on this, who this person should be, but for me, it is a no-brainer, and that is Michael the Count Bisping. And please stay tuned until the end to hear all my arguments to why it is Michael the Count Bisping. So, you have to see, some people are very athletically gifted, some people are not. For example, Israel Adesanya is just a born athlete. He's so flexible, so agile, all the attributes you want as an athlete. And Bisping, as much as I love him, is not that type of guy.
Shut the fuck up!
So it is even more impressive if a guy like that gets to the top. But it's also a thing that if you're not that athletically gifted, your risk of injury is just much higher. It is just a fact. Especially in terms of flexibility and all these things. So, you have to see. Let's start off with the biggest argument. Michael the Count Bisping, for those of you who did not know, fought Vitor Belfort, should have been 2013 as far as I remember. Vitor Belfort head kicked him in the head. Michael Bisping recalls that as having like a flash in his eye in that moment. And after that, Michael the Count Bisping is officially on one eye, completely blind. He does not see anything out of that eye anymore. I think at the beginning he wasn't completely blind. They tried to fix it, whatever, but it just slowly over the days, weeks, whatever, went completely dark, black. His eyesight, not his eye. His eye is still white. But he is now blind on one eye. And for those of you who don't know, Michael the Count Bisping retired in 2018. So that time span of 5 years is a long time span. He had 11 fights in that time span. And if you don't know this, to make this a little bit more clear for you, you are not allowed to fight or compete in MMA, nor boxing, or whatever combat sport with one eye. If you fight in the UFC, as much as people hate them, they're very professional. They pay a lot of money to get their fighters checked, all these things. Before you fight, every single time you have to get medical clearance. And that medical clearance involves getting your eyes tested. Because if you are blind on one eye, you can test it yourself right now. Do this on your right eye and try to see a left hook. Tell your friend right now to throw a left hook from here. I do not see my hand. If my hand comes, I did not see that. And you have to think, Michael the Count Bisping fought like that for 11 fights, for 5 years. And you know what? He won the world freaking title with one eye. The world title. He went on to be the best fighter in his division in that moment of the whole world with one eye, with a huge disability. With a disability that's not even legal. He was illegally fighting. Not illegally fighting with I don't know, brass knuckles here or something to knock out his opponent. No, illegally fighting with a disadvantage. You have to think about that. How tough of a mother effer do you need to be to do that? And it's not that he just went to the doctor's checks like this. He had to fake every single test, which is not easy. He tried to fake an eye test. He had some luck also in some, sometimes if you listen to his podcast and stuff, he sometimes recalls these stories that I won't do now, but he faked his way through the eye tests to make the doctors, he made full-grown, studied doctors believe that he has full eyesight. Isn't that crazy? And all of that, he could have said, hey, okay, look, My health comes at first stage now. I'm blind on one eye. I don't want to lose more eyesight on the other eye whatsoever. I don't want to lose all my brain cells for getting knocked out because I don't see the shots coming. I will retire. I don't know. I will now try to open up my own gym or whatever, be a personal trainer whatsoever. No. He went on to continue with fighting and won a world title and defended it. That's so crazy, and people just don't give him enough credit for that. And that's not all. Michael the Count Bisping has, and this is right now, this is after his career, we have to mention that, it's not during his career, but it plays in factor. He has now 2 artificial knees. His left knee and his right knee are artificial. Michael Bisping has no knees anymore. And you don't get knee replacement after your career because your whole career you just had perfect knees. And yes, every fighter struggles with their knees and this and that. Kamaru Usman is a prime example. But you have to have really, really, really bad knees to get them replaced immediately after retirement, which was in 2018, as I mentioned. So he fought with one eye, completely shattered knees, his whole career. Then after his career, he also had a disc replacement, I think it's called, in his neck. So neck surgery, because his neck was completely messed up from his career, which is another factor. Fighting with a messed up neck, 2 messed up knees, and no eye, one eye, yeah, no eye, one eye. This guy is and every MMA fighter is as tough as it gets. Because every MMA fighter has problems, has this, has that, and still continues to fight. But this guy is just another dimension. And to make an example that's maybe a little bit more related to the fights, watch Anderson Silva versus Michael Bisping. When Michael Bisping beat Anderson Silva, which was crazy. If you know who Anderson Silva was back then, that was a huge upset, huge upset. I think it was by the end of round 4, Michael Bisping loses his mouthpiece with like 5 seconds left in the round. And I don't say this is not Michael Bisping's fault. It is Michael Bisping's fault. You should always be focused on the fight, and even if your mouthpiece falls out, that's the job of the referee and not your job. You can tell it to him, but not if the other one's attacking you. Michael Bisping is winning the fight, but he's a little bit beat up and his mouthpiece falls out. He then points to the mouthpiece to tell the ref, hey, my mouthpiece, my mouthpiece. At this moment, Anderson Silva just runs at him with a flying knee, jumps in his face with a flying knee, which knocks out 9 out of 10 people. Knocks Michael Bisping down. I think he was even out for a second. Yeah, hits him with the knee. Michael Bisping goes down into the fence. Round is over, so the ref couldn't stop the fight. Otherwise, the ref would have stopped the fight 100%. He stands up, wobbles to his corner, goes on and wins the next round. How tough of a human being do you need to be for that? Like, and I'm not trying to lick his balls or something. It's just a fact. Watch that fight. So many people would have quitted on the stool. So many people would have, I don't know, the next round come out and get finished by Anderson Silva immediately. It's not that you stand in front of a coward for 5 minutes. No, he stands up in front of the back then best fighter pound for pound on the planet for another 5 minutes while just being knocked out 2 minutes ago. You know what I mean? 1 minute ago. There's 1 minute breaks between the rounds. These are just all examples that shows you how tough Michael Bisping is. And if I should give you an example outside of the fighting world, if you listen to his podcast, which I always do, he had back problems. He was shooting a movie in Bulgaria last year, and he had back problems. He always complained in the podcast about, my back hurts so much, I don't know what it is. I got massage, I went to chiropractics, whatever, it just got worse, I don't know what it is. This guy did not know for like 3 months while shooting a movie, another movie where he's like, I don't know, a Adam Sandler making people laugh. No, he in the movies that Michael Bisping plays in, he's a action guy. He has fighting scenes. All the scenes that he shoots are action scenes where he has to move, fight, this, that, whatever. This guy shot a whole movie for like 2 months or something with a broken back. A broken back. And he did not even know it. He was just complaining about back problems, about back pain. That's so insane. Every other guy I know would have just cried and went home. He shot a movie for 3 months and said, yeah, I have a little bit of back pain, I don't know, went to massages and stuff. This guy is insanity, guys. Insanity. Who is, in your opinion, the toughest motherfucker in the UFC ever? Am I completely wrong? Am I just a fanboy? Write it in the comments, guys. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and most importantly, eat your vegetables, guys. Until next time, bye-bye. Blast for out.